Introduction and Hook. Hello and welcome back to Legacy Coins USA. Today we're doing a deep dive into the 1985 P. Washington quarter, the Philadelphia minted regular strike that circulated across the United States by the millions. If you've pulled a 1985 quarter from pocket change and wondered whether it's worth keeping, this video will walk you through what to look for, what collectors pay, and how to spot a coin that might be worth more than its face value. Basic description: what it looks like. The 1985 P quarter features John Flanagan portrait of George Washington on the obverse with the mint mark P behind Washington's neck, and the classic eagle reverse that was used from 1932 until 1998, before the state quarter series. The coin is clad, a copper core with outer layers of copper nickel, and weighs about 5.67 grams. Under normal lighting you'll see the satin to reflective fields on uncirculated examples. Worn coins will have much of the high detail smoothed away. Mintage and commonality. This date is extremely common. The Philadelphia Mint struck around 775.8 million 1985 quarters, making it one of the more plentiful dates in the modern Washington quarter series. Because of that enormous mintage, most examples you encounter in circulation or bulk lots are simply worth their face value, 25 cents. If scarcity is your hunting criterion, this date will rarely be the one to chase unless the grade is exceptional. NGC coin. Typical open market values, circulated to lower uncirculated. On the open market today, circulated examples are usually worth face value, 25 cents, while attractively preserved uncirculated coins, uncertified, commonly sell for a few dollars each. Market trackers and completed sale listings show ungraded gem BU pieces often trading in the $2 to $10 range depending on eye appeal and the seller. If you're flipping through pocket change, don't expect a windfall, but a gem uncirculated might be worth keeping. Cointrackers.com+1. Certified and high-grade values, MS 65, MS 66, MS 67. Where value increases is in certified mint state grades. An MS 65 slab is desirable and can fetch $15 to $40 or more depending on the grader, PCGS/NGC, and the coin strike and luster. PCGS warns that MS 66 and above are scarce for the 1985 P, and MS 67 is essentially a trophy level for this date. Very few examples exist, which can push prices substantially higher when they appear for sale. So the big step up in value isn't from date rarity but from exceptional, pristine grade rarity. PCGS.com+1. Proofs and special varieties. The 1985 S-Proof quarter is a separate collectible and was made for collectors out of the San Francisco Mint. Proofs have their own market and are sold/valued differently than business strikes. Errors and varieties, doubling, die chips, broad strikes, can sometimes attract collectors, and specific error pieces fetch premiums, but those are the exception, not the rule. Always document any claimed error with clear photos and consider a third-party opinion before assuming a big value. Cointrackers.com+1. Real market evidence, completed sales and auction results. If you want to know what these coins are actually selling for, check completed listings and auction archives rather than just price guides. Recent completed sales show many ungraded BU 1985 P quarters selling for a couple dollars, while certified MS 65, MS 66 slabs appear in listings ranging from roughly $25 up to $65 plus depending on seller and photos. Marketplaces are where demand meets real price, so when in doubt, look at what buyers actually paid. Price charting +1. Grading tips: what to look for when evaluating your coin. If you want to grade at home before sending anything to a grading service, examine the high points, Washington's hair, cheek, and the eagle's breast and wings. Look for full luster, minimal hairlines or contact marks, and a strong strike. Lighting is key. Use a bright lamp at an angle to reveal luster and hairlines. If your coin looks flawless to the naked eye and has mirror-like fields, consider having it evaluated by a trusted dealer or submitting it for third-party grading. Buying/selling advice and cautions. When buying, compare multiple sellers and prefer listings with good pictures and return policies. When selling, set realistic price expectations. Most buyers expect to pay low prices for this date unless the grade is slabbed and high. Be cautious of over-optimistic rare claims. Given the 1985 PS huge mintage, most examples are common. For valuable error claims or very high slab grades, get independent verification. Conclusion and call to action. To wrap up, the 1985 P quarter is common and usually worth face value, but high-grade certified examples are scarce and collectible. That's where the value is. If you've got a 1985 P that looks special, take good photos and compare completed sales from reputable sources before making decisions. Explore the 1978 quarter dollar from the United States, a coin that may seem simple, but behind its metallic surface hides a story of craftsmanship, heritage, and unexpected value. Many people spend it every day without realizing they might be holding a collectible piece of history. Let's uncover the secrets of this 1978 quarter, from its origins to its modern-day worth in the open market. The Washington Quarter series began in 1932, honoring the 200th birth anniversary of America's first president, George Washington. The design, created by sculptor John Flanagan, became one of the most recognizable symbols of U.S. coinage. By 1978, this coin had already seen over 4 decades of production, surviving wars, recessions, and countless pockets and purses. The obverse shows Washington's bold portrait, while the reverse carries the proud bald eagle, America's national emblem, standing strong with spread wings and olive branches, representing peace and power. The 1978 quarters were minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver with the D mark, and San Francisco with the S mark for proof coins. Most were made from a copper-nickel-clad composition, no silver content, yet they still hold high collector interest. The coin weighs about 5.67 grams and measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter. Its edge is reeded, and its overall finish depends on how well it was preserved through the years. When freshly struck, it shines with a bright luster that collectors love to see, especially in the higher mint state grades. In 1978, more than 1 billion quarters were produced, making it a common coin in circulation. But that doesn't mean all are equal. The true magic lies in those few that survived in pristine, untouched condition. Coins graded MS-65 or higher are becoming increasingly difficult to find, and those with mirror-like surfaces or proof qualities are even rarer. For collectors, finding one with full sharp details, like clearly defined hair curls on Washington or crisp feathers on the eagle, is like discovering a hidden treasure among the ordinary. But what truly excites coin lovers are the error coins. During mass production, even the most precise machinery can make mistakes, and in 1978, several fascinating mint errors appeared. Off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing, clipped planchets that look as if a small piece was bitten off, and double die errors that make letters or features appear doubled. All of these can make the coin's value jump dramatically. Some of these unique pieces have sold at auctions for hundreds of dollars. A 1978 D quarter with a strong double die obverse once sold for over $400, while another with an off-center strike reached over $600. Now let's talk about what makes the 1978 quarter valuable today. In circulated condition, most are worth face value, just 25 cents. However, uncirculated examples, with no signs of wear and full mint brilliance, can sell for a few dollars each, usually between $3 and $25. But when you reach high grades, especially MS-67 and above, prices rise steeply, sometimes over $100 or even $400 at auctions. Proof versions from San Francisco, with deep cameo contrast, are especially prized and can sell from $50 up to $200 or more depending on clarity and finish. And of course, error coins, if authenticated and unique, can cross the $1,000 mark in rare cases. Every coin tells a story, and the 1978 quarter dollar is no exception. It represents the skill of American engravers, the strength of a nation, and the small details that transform an ordinary coin into a collector's dream. So next time you hold an old quarter, take a moment to look closely. The shine, the lines, the tiny mint mark, they all whisper tales of history, hands, and journeys across decades. Fascinating world of American coins, where every small piece of metal carries a big story, a piece of history, and sometimes a hidden fortune. Today, we travel back to the year 1989, a year when the United States was marking the end of a decade full of change, and in that very year, a small but iconic coin was struck, the 1989 P Washington quarter dollar. Main story begins. Engaging narrative tone. The 1989 quarter dollar, minted in Philadelphia, is more than just a piece of currency. It's a symbol of American heritage, craftsmanship, and value. On the front side, we see the proud image of George Washington, the first president of the United States, his face representing leadership, freedom, and unity. Above him reads the word, liberty, a constant reminder of the nation's foundation. Beneath, the phrase "In God We Trust" reflects America's deep faith and conviction, while the year 1989 sits proudly at the bottom, marking its place in time. On the reverse, the majestic bald eagle spreads its wings, a national symbol of strength and vision. Every line, every feather, carefully designed to reflect American pride. The words "United States of America" and "E pluribus unum," meaning "out of many, one," tell the story of unity in diversity. Beneath it, the denomination $quarter glows, showing its 25-cent face value. Historical and minting details. In 1989, millions of these quarters were minted, around 512 million at the Philadelphia Mint, recognized by the small letter P on the coin. Most were used in everyday trade, vending machines, and cash registers across America. Yet, only a small number survived in pristine condition. Those few, untouched and perfectly preserved, have now become treasures for collectors. The coin is made of copper nickel, with a composition of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, giving it both durability and that signature silvery shine. Its diameter measures 24.3 millimeters and weighs 5.67 grams, standard for all Washington quarters of its era. Collectors' value and rarity. Now, let's talk about what truly excites collectors: the value. A circulated 1989 P quarter might only be worth its face value of 25 cents, but when you find one in uncirculated or proof-like condition, the story changes dramatically. Coins graded MS-65 or higher can fetch anywhere from $10 to $25, depending on luster and sharpness. But that's not all. Certain error coins from 1989 have been discovered, and these can command prices of hundreds of dollars at auctions. Errors like off-center strikes, double dies, or planchet mistakes make them rare and highly desirable among coin hunters. Imagine pulling out a coin from your old piggy bank, thinking it's worth just a quarter, only to find out it's valued at hundreds of dollars today. That's the thrill of coin collecting. Market insights and modern value. In today's open market, the 1989 P quarter dollar continues to gain attention. Coin grading companies such as PCGS and NGC have certified thousands of these coins, but finding one in flawless condition remains a challenge. As the years pass, the supply of mint-condition coins shrinks, and the demand only increases, a perfect recipe for rising value. Collectors and investors now see this coin as part of American numismatic history, affordable for beginners, yet valuable enough to hold long-term potential. Emotional connection and storytelling. Think about this: a coin minted 36 years ago, passed through countless hands, traveled across states, exchanged in gas stations, diners, and schools. Each quarter tells a silent story of people, time, and change. Some have scratches, some have shine, but all carry a little piece of America's journey within them. Conclusion. Motivational ending. So next time you come across a 1989 quarter dollar, don't just see it as pocket change. Look closely at its details, its mint mark, its shine. It might just be a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. Whether you're a collector, an enthusiast, or just someone curious about the past, remember, every coin has a story, and the 1989 P quarter dollar tells one of America's timeless legacies. Today, we uncover the secrets of the 1991 D quarter dollar from America, a coin that millions have handled, yet only a few realize its hidden worth. This isn't just a piece of change, it's a tiny time machine that takes us back to an era when coins were more than money. They were part of America's identity, history, and pride. By the end of this video, you'll know why some of these 1991 D quarters are valued far beyond 25 cents, and how you might have one sitting unnoticed in your collection or wallet. History and origin. 040 to 2 o'clock. The 1991 D quarter dollar was minted in Denver, marked by the small D under the phrase "In God We Trust" on the obverse side. This coin features the familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, a design that has been a part of American life since 1932. The year 1991 marked the final years before the U.S. Mint began transitioning to state quarters, making these late 20th century Washington quarters a piece of closing history. Over 630 million pieces were struck that year, making them common, but within that massive number hides rare varieties and minting errors that collectors chase passionately. Design details. 2 to 330. On the obverse side, we see George Washington's bold profile, representing leadership and liberty, surrounded by the inscriptions "Liberty, Indiana God We Trust," and the year 1991. The reverse displays the majestic bald eagle, wings spread proudly, clutching arrows and olive branches, symbols of America's readiness for both war and peace. Around it, the words United States of America and $quarter shine with dignity. This design captures American pride and strength, something every collector respects. Metal composition, 330 to 420. The 1991 D quarter is made from 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, giving it that shiny silver look we all recognize. It weighs 5.67 grams and measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter. But don't let the common metal composition fool you. Value in coins often lies not in what they're made of, but how they were made and preserved. Value and rarity, 420 to 620. Now, let's talk about value, the most exciting part. In circulated condition, most 1991 D quarters are worth their face value, just 25 cents. But when you find one in mint state condition, the story changes dramatically. In MS-65 condition, these coins can fetch $10 to $25. In MS-67, the value jumps to $150 or more. And an extremely rare MS-68 grade example once sold for over $1,000 at auction. But the real treasures are error coins. Off-center strikes, double die obverse, or coins struck on the wrong planchet can each be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on condition and visibility of the error. So, if you ever notice a strange design shift, thick edge, or missing letter, hold on to it. Collector's Insight, 620 to 720. Collectors love the 1991 D quarter for being a bridge between the classic and modern era of U.S. coinage. It represents the end of the regular Washington quarters before the state series began in 1999. For many, it's a nostalgic piece, a coin from childhood, vending machines, and family road trips. But for experts, it's a reminder that even ordinary coins can hide extraordinary stories. Conclusion and motivation, 720 to 810. So next time you're checking your change, look closely at that 1991 D quarter. That little D could mean a doorway to a hidden fortune. Remember, the most valuable things are often the ones we overlook. Coins like these remind us that history, art, and value can fit right in the palm of your hand. Imagine you're holding a coin that looks so ordinary, you might pass it without a second thought, yet hidden beneath its shiny surface lies a story of value, history, and mystery. This is the 1979 D Washington quarter from the United States of America, a coin that may look common, but in the right condition, it could be worth far more than 25 cents. The story of this coin begins in Denver, Colorado, where the United States Mint produced millions of quarters in 1979. Each one was struck with the bold letter D beneath George Washington's neck, a small mark that tells you this coin came from the Denver Mint. To most people, it was just another coin used for everyday transactions, but to collectors, it became a piece of history that could hide incredible value. The obverse of the coin proudly carries the portrait of George Washington, America's first president, sculpted by the talented John Flanagan. His serious expression symbolizes leadership and independence, values that shaped the foundation of the United States. On the reverse, the majestic bald eagle spreads its wings wide, clutching arrows of strength and a wreath of peace, a message of courage and freedom that defines America itself. At first glance, this 1979 D quarter seems simple, but its design, weight, and metallic structure hold secrets. The coin is made from a copper-nickel-clad composition, giving it its distinct silvery shine. It weighs just 5.67 grams and measures 24.3 millimeters across, but its real worth doesn't lie in metal. It lies in rarity, perfection, and history. Most of the 1979 D quarters in circulation are worth only face value, 25 cents, but if you find one in perfect condition, untouched, sharp in detail, and gleaming with that original mint luster, the story changes completely. Collectors will pay several dollars for a high-grade example, and if the coin is graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC as Mint State 67 or higher, its value can reach hundreds of dollars. But what truly excites collectors are the rare errors, the little minting mistakes that transform an ordinary coin into something extraordinary. Some 1979 D quarters were struck off-center, creating a coin where parts of the design are missing. Others were double-struck, showing a ghostly second image of Washington or the letters around the rim. There are even examples where the metal blank was clipped during production, leaving a crescent-shaped edge. Each of these errors is unique, and some can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the size and visibility of the flaw. The beauty of this coin lies in its unpredictability. You can find it in your pocket, in an old coin jar, or in a forgotten drawer, and it could be worth far more than you ever expected. Stories have emerged of people discovering high-grade 1979 D quarters and selling them for impressive prices at auction. One such coin, graded MS-67, fetched over $1,000, not because of its metal, but because of its condition and perfection. The 1979 D quarter reminds us that even modern coins can carry hidden treasures. It's not always about gold or silver. Sometimes, value is born from rarity, from history, and from the unexpected beauty of imperfection. Every coin has its own journey, passing from hand to hand, across generations, across time. Some end up lost, some forgotten, and a few, just a few, rediscovered as treasures of the past. So the next time you hold a 1979 quarter with a tiny D beneath Washington's neck, take a closer look. Examine its shine, its edges, the small details that others overlook. Because one day, that simple coin could become the story of your own discovery, a moment where you realize that even the smallest things can hold the greatest worth. Subscribe, please, my channel.